Sup peeps, so on the weekend I was hired to film a music festival. Yeah, getting paid to do things I enjoy. One of my favourite things. Other than just getting paid money. Just give me money. The thing is, it was in Midland, which is horrifying enough by itself. Problem is, I'm not really familiar with Midland. I've been there twice, and so basically I was like, I don't know how to get to this place. I'm just gonna sort of look at a map and guess. Thankfully they just had sort of like arrows, so I wanted to put arrows on the street, being like, it's that way. So just followed them, but the arrows disappeared after a while. But I could start hearing screaming. Turns out the stage closest to the entrance is devoted nearly entirely to heavy metal / death metal. Yeah. So there's lots of screaming, just screaming in the distance. So I thought to myself, I'm going to follow that screaming, which is a troubling thought, but in the context it made sense. Problem is, I'm not very good at telling direction of sound because one ear doesn't work. So to tell if I'm going in the right direction, the sound has to get louder. So I'm just walking towards the screaming, thinking to myself, gosh, I hope the sounds of screaming gets louder. By the way, this festival is an all-ages, drug, smoking, alcohol-free venue. Whoa, yeah. Which means there are 5 adults present, some of which are looking after kids, the rest are looking around awkwardly out of place, thinking probably to themselves, I have made a mistake, I don't belong here, I sure hope I don't get arrested, I am surrounded by 14-year-olds, and... But yeah, I had to film this, so I rock up to the gate with my camera and they're like, can we just inspect your bag? I'm like, yeah, sure. I open up, they see the camera and they go, you can't use that, you're gonna have to put that in the cloakroom. And I'm like, what? I'm hired to be here. They're like, are you a volunteer? I'm like, no, I'm getting paid to use this. You can pay me to not use this and just walk into the festival. It's okay, I sorted it out with the ticket people. They gave me my little accreditation necklace thing which said photographer, not videographer, but that's fine. Went to the staff area to put some stuff down, get some stuff organised. By the way, this staff area has a sign saying, security don't let anyone in unless they have the following passes, like artist, AAA, blah blah blah. None of which said photographer, but all the photographers were there and that's where we were told to go, so... They had various stages. One said like was about drug awareness and not doing drugs, which is kind of weird considering that that stage was for hip-hop. And a lot of songs had to do with drugs. Just singing songs about doing marijuana and then telling the kids, no, drugs are bad. So as you'd expect at a drug-free, alcohol-free event full of teenagers, when asked what's the subject to freestyle on, they said, sex and drugs. Classic teenagers doing exactly the responsible thing that you would expect. I don't remember which artist it was who did the freestyle, but he did one who was just like really good about like, don't do drugs. It'll mess you up, immediately after his song about doing drugs. Thing is, I'm used to drunk crowds. I love filming drunk crowds because they're just so enthusiastic to just get in front of a camera and be like, yeah man, whatever. But when you've got a bunch of teenagers, you'll be like, hey, can I point a camera at you? And they go, pointed at him, and that person's like, oh, no. Yes, by the way, I do have sunglasses that say drug aware. I am aware of drugs. They exist, kids. So yeah, it was a bit like shooting fish in a barrel in that the teenagers are all terrified of death, and it's actually far more difficult than people expect. Thing is, if you go into a music festival, there's signs saying like you will be photographed / filmed potentially for promotional purposes, which is what I was there for. So I'm allowed to point my camera. I'm hired to point my camera at teenagers without them actually knowing or being asked beforehand. The problem is, that feels really weird and really creepy to just sort of try and sneakily point your camera at people while they're not looking, so they don't go, this is the wrong festival for me, I don't belong here, even that other people with cameras here have acne. Thing is, the footage that I shot, I'm not editing, someone else is, so I figured it would be a hilarious prank if I just got random people that I was filming to like say into the camera off screen, wake up, you're in a coma. So they're just going to be reviewing the footage and just every now and again they're going to have a voice that they don't recognize just coming through the speaker saying, wake up, you're in a coma. And they're like, oh, that's weird. Keep going, and then, wake up, you're in a coma. I don't know who that is, but I hope they enjoy that little prank. I've got to say, my favourite part of the evening was filming the silent disco, because when you can't hear the music that people in the silent disco are listening to, Classic. Staff would try and hand me handsets and like, would you like one? I'm like, no, it's way more amusing without them. And the staff would be like, yeah, it is. It's so funny. So just remember that every time you go into a silent disco, people are judging you and laughing. I also had to like interview people to sort of like get quick snippets about what they liked about the festival, what they didn't like about the festival. One dude said his favourite thing about the festival was chairs, which then another person said their least favourite thing was chairs, because a bunch of vulgar teenagers who don't know really how to party hard would just sort of be like, oh, okay, the chairs are safe. Chairs are safe. General feedback from the audience was, I really like the selection of music. I really don't like hip-hop, please have more metal. And I really don't like metal, please have more hip-hop. That was the main negative thing, was that I don't understand that other people have different music tastes to me, and this disappoints me. So I think the solution there is to, you know, stop being a teenager. The other solution is to just don't walk to the other stage. They're separate. It's not like you're like, oh no, I don't like hip-hop, and yet some mysterious force is dragging me towards the other stage. Help. Help me. I'm feeling gangster already, guys. I'm feeling gangster. Goodbye, YouTube.
This is a bad idea. Also, like, good luck with your exams.
You are a failure as a human being. Aww. Thank you. Raging it's aww.